up as a visually impaired child, I always desired to write or do my exams orally. And this was because very often writing was difficult. I did not know Braille. So oral seemed to be the option that I desired for. And when I heard the Minister for Education, Government of Maharashtra, announce that blind students could take their exams now onwards, recording it, especially the board exams, I thought it was a good move. But when you look at it carefully, there are several downsides to recorded examination efforts. One, when you make mistakes, it's very difficult to correct them. You need to edit them, and that would be complicated. If you were to re-record answers, it would take a lot of time and it would confuse the examiner. And most importantly, when you record, it's very important for your voice to be clear, your speech to be fluent, and your subject understanding and knowledge to be thorough, which, if blind students are given the opportunity to get into writing this year's, say, 12th standard exams using recording, it might be a challenge. However, if blind students are allowed to write their exams using recorders right from class 1, then the story might be different, because over the 12 years the blind student has the opportunity to develop the art of dictating answers into a recording device. And by the time the child gets to class 12, he should be quite adept at giving his answers without making mistakes. But think of the examiner. Now the examiner are sighted people, and my experience of sighted people by and large is that their listening skills are not as developed. When I've given talks and I've given speeches at different places, and I find that people just grab, of the 10 points that you've made, they probably just remember 2. People prefer to have PowerPoint support or notes given out so that they are able to grasp the entire subject. So when it comes to evaluating a recorded answer or a set of recorded answers, I would think that the examiner would need to listen to the answers several times before he is able to give a correct evaluation. And that might be tiresome, and that might test the patience of the examiner. And in the long run, the examinee might lose out, because impatience could result in very quick, hurried evaluation. But having said all this, let's look at some of the brighter things that might happen with recorded answers. When blind children are compelled to write their answers or give their answers orally in a recorded format, this is a great opportunity for them, A, to do their studies thoroughly so that they have a good grasp of the subject. Secondly, they will be kind of compelled to think of the answers in advance, and then when you actually start recording, the demand of recorded answers will be clarity of speech, fluency of speech, a fairly brisk and crisp presentation. This could very easily develop the skill of public speaking or oration, and that's not a bad thing. It also would develop the skill of oral communication, which again in today's competitive world is very essential. So while there are major challenges with recorded answers, there could be very positive results. So it might be a good idea to have a combination of different options. You have recorded exams, you have exams on computers using screen reading softwares, you have examinations in Braille, and you also give them the option of writing answers using the support of a scribe. It could be a combination, because students are different, and especially at the implementation stage. We have just announced the scheme. I don't think the blind students will be prepared for that as of today. And as we move on, I think we can take a second look at it and find out what works best. Another point or another dimension that we might like to look at is we're talking about inclusive education. And you wouldn't want the visually impaired or blind students to be singled out, giving them exclusive ways of writing exams. There are, to my mind, a number of students who are not blind who also could be better served if they are given alternative options to write their exams. Everybody is not good at writing. That's a fact. So, keeping inclusion and a level playing field, I think if all students are given multiple options, psychologically the blind student doesn't feel different. He feels part of the classroom because he's got options, so does the sighted classmate. So it's not exclusive, it is a universal approach to writing exams and evaluation, and the student chooses the way he wants to take his exam depending on what he is best at. So that is, to my mind,